All righty, this is another one of those times where I surmise that I'm finished and ready to go with everybody. Correct? Close. I'm Farrell, I'm Executive Director of the Lake Park Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to welcome you to this month's Lunch and Learn program. This one is a lot different, I'll say, than anything we've ever done before. Because what we're trying to do today is really get started with information concerning the Eclipse in 2017. Yes, it's a year and a few months from now, and more than likely it won't be postponed or changed. You know, it's a joke, nobody ever gets it. Let's start, if we would, right here with self-introductions with Ms. Bush, okay?
I'm Jan Bush. I'm Communications Department Manager over at Land Between the Lakes, and we're here to get all our communities together so we can work on this because they say 1 million people are coming here. So we want to make sure we show them a good time so 1 million people come back. So that's why we're here.
I'm going to stop right there. Because I'm thinking here, I can say it now, forget it. Joanne Bowl with Regional Glass made the statement, and it's very true that it's important that we have our ducks in a row when these people get here and have things for them to do and have our security and health and traffic management and all that in place. But it is just as important that when they leave, they have a good story to tell and important to tell others about this part of the area. So we need to do a good job with what we're doing, and we need to give them something to tell the rest of the world about. Thank you.
I'm Josh Fry, and I also work at Land Between the Lakes. I'm brand new there, actually, so learning a lot, and I work for Jamie.
I'm Janice Wilson. I also work at Land Between the Lakes as a public affairs specialist, and I work for Jan. I do the website and social media and several other.
I'm Jeff Leary, and I work as the customer service manager at Land Between the Lakes.
I'm John Ruffley. I'm the tech director of Friends of Land Between the Lakes. We're a partner to Forest Service there at Land Between the Lakes. And we have a particular interest in this event as we operate the Golden Pond Planetarium. So we expect to have quite a few visitors to our facility during that period.
I'm Joanne Vogel from Regional Glass here local in Eddie.
Sharon Adams, Caldwell Medical Center.
I'm Tim Beck from CEB Investments, and one of our properties is that of the mall.
I'm Greta Burkhart with the Herald Ledger newspaper in Lyon County.
Sorry. I'm Cindy Bruno, the administrator at Christian Care of Catala, and twofold today. I'm also a board member of the HR Ministries, and I'll kind of tell you as we're talking, if it's okay, what we're planning on this as well. We've got some things that we're already slating and want everybody to know what's going on with Creation Museum and some speakers and some concerts and stuff that we're planning for this as well.
Well, that's wonderful. So Debbie and I are winging it, I'll tell you right now. We're looking for some chiming in.
All right.
Jerry Aldridge with Travel Leaders.
Taylor Smith with Emerald Horizon and Core Fitness Gym.
Judy Stone, and I'm retired, and I just buzz around the community trying to do everything.
Russ Tilford, Superintendent, Lyon County Schools.
Wade White, Lyon County Judge.
This is,
Debi Dobb with Lake Park Tourism Commission.
and behind the camera is
Jim Stott, President of the Chamber of Bayview Properties.
just magic and other things, right?
Other things, exactly.
All right. Yeah, I'm serious, we're kind of winging it. This, to me, this is an informational meeting, and it's kind of designed to get the ball rolling. And Debbie knows more, I think, about what we need to do than I do, for sure. There's not enough of these for everybody, but this is a description of what some people, especially public officials, might expect to be doing along the way. And I know I had a conversation yesterday with Russ, who's the superintendent of Lyon County Schools. Yeah. Russ is superintendent of Lyon County Schools. And this event is August 21st, 2017. And school will be in session, correct?
Plan to be.
At this point,
And I guess that's something to debate, or not debate, but change. Debbie, why don't you take the floor?
Well, the first and most important thing about the Eclipse will take care of itself. We have nothing as far as that is concerned. The biggest main issue is the community eclipse planning because of the influx of people. The logistics are going to be, it's going to be crazy. I know, and they're expecting 100,000 at Carbondale SIU, which is about an hour and a half north from here northwest. Hopkinsville is expecting anywhere from 75 to 100,000 people. So the main thing is that we have to get our law enforcement, our EMTs, fire department, all of our businesses need to be aware because of the fact that there's going to be so many people here that they'll have to stock extra fuel. It's going to be, like they said, a hurricane disaster influx of people. That's how they explain it.
All right, now, let me ask you a question. Passing this map out, as I interpret this thing, right here in downtown Eddyville, we will see the total eclipse, correct?
Correct. A little over 2 minutes.
All right. So what's the big difference between Hopkinsville and Eddyville and SIU as far as viewing the eclipse?
The longest one will be Hopkinsville.
By how much?
Maybe 7 seconds, 8
Cool.
seconds.
All right.
Something
So there's
like
really,
that.
there's really no difference, that's my point. So, I mean, why should Hopkinsville be the center of the universe for this thing, as they have been for the last 2 or 3 years? You know, they own that thing away and started talking about it a long time ago.
NASA put them as the hot spot for this eclipse.
But in reality, look, there's not that much difference.
It moved. You
Yeah.
guys are actually,
Yeah.
I thought it was 240 at one point.
but it literally moved. If you look on a thing today, can you pull it up? You have service? If you look on a thing today, you guys are really, you're in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're the closest.
Yeah.
Because it moved. But you are only talking about seconds.
Yeah, a few seconds of difference.
Yeah.
Just
So you guys are
right.
ready. So you guys are probably going to get hit the most.
Yeah.
So this area is.
Well, the lodging is going to be a big issue besides the traffic, restaurants and all that. And then, of course, deciding on a viewing, one place to actually be able to coordinate if we had to. I'm sure people will be viewing it here, there, and everywhere, but if we coordinate one, we were talking about Lee S. Jones because of the parking. If need be, we would bus people. I mean, that's somewhere down the road, but that's just stuff that has to be absolutely in place. Because otherwise, it could be a huge disaster in Lyon County. Because if we're not able to handle this influx of people, then they won't come back. Even there is another eclipse. It's going to be quite endearing, to say the least. But they want to come, they want to watch the eclipse. They do suggest that we have the community have the average stay is 4 days, depending on where they came from, to have some events prior to that Monday. And I think some of the resorts have already talked about having eclipse parties, If we wanted to, as a community, have a after party, something like that, entertainment. They even said, flea markets, yard sales, just to keep the people, because they're going to be here. They're here for 2 minutes on Monday. And they'll probably stay one more night. So that's
Well, it does take about 3 hours, 4 hours. I can't remember how long it takes.
the duration.
Yeah.
From beginning
So
to
it
end.
is a show there for a while.
Uh-huh.
People will be hanging out wherever you decide you want to put them.
And we have to have the porta-johns.
Jen, what kind of show? What is it at 3 hours? What
How many
starts?
people have been to an actual total eclipse?
Well, tell
It is amazing.
Was it
Okay. Huh?
Was it a total solar?
Uh-huh.
Really?
1979, tells you my age. But it was amazing, okay? It was absolutely amazing. And of course, we know more now than we did back in 1979, as they knew more than 1923. But it still is pretty amazing because you're just like, wow.
Where'd you go? Where'd you have to go to get it?
I was working for a hotel in Seattle at the time doing sales and marketing. And so it was, I can't remember the name of the town. I should have brought my stuff, huh, Jeff? I have a little show and tell, but the name of the town, but it was actually, an Eclipse had gone through there like in 1917 or something like that, and so they built a Stonehenge replica there. So this Eclipse was going there at that time, and so that's where I went, and it was a bunch of people that just, you know, went to that same place, and it was packed, and it was almost like Woodstock, only it was only for 6 hours, basically. And so that's what we did.
But where was it?
Washington DC.
Washington,
I mean,
DC?
Washington State.
Washington State.
Yeah, I was up in Seattle, and so it was just over to an area right above the Columbia River. But it is really amazing. Okay, so you're gonna wanna have some holding places for people to go. And I would suggest having vendors there, at least, you know, drinks and that type of stuff. And Connie, Debbie, what you said about garage sales, that would be smart. That would be
Like
really
a
smart.
citywide or countywide garage sale.
So, yeah, I mean, that would be really smart. One of the things that we thought we could do is we decided that we would be a veteran community. So we will help house a lot of these people. We will also try to come up with places where people can view.
Are you talking about LBL?
Land Between the Lakes, yes. And, you know, to support you, and then we will also promote what you are doing, okay, to pull people out of our area. Because a lot of where we're saying we're gonna do housing, it's just, there's no amenities. You know, so these people are gonna go out and go see places and see the area. So the other thing that we're doing is the planetarium has a show. And on April 28th at 11 a.m., you all are invited to join Trigg County Tourism. And we're going to have a simulation of what the Eclipse is going to look like. Now, we're not going to take the 6 hours or 4 hours that it takes, but we'll show you. Josh saw it. Was it impressive?
Yeah, so basically, everybody's been to the planetarium, I take it, you can go in there, it's kind of like a mini IMAX theater. And with the new digital projector, they're actually able to show you the way the sun is moving and the moon is moving, and then you can actually see the occlusion take place and then go to total darkness. So you'll actually have a visual right there, and we'll be able to kind of liaise with all the other interests around the area, kind of talk about how it's going to look, and some of the best viewing places in the area too.
If you will, send me the information.
Yeah.
We'll get that distributed through our local outlets.
Right, yeah. Because it's, you know, and we're, like I said, we're here to help you, and so we want to help you in any way we can. And from talking, we really didn't want to have an event. We had people contact us about having an event in our area, but that's not going to do us or you any good. What's going to do good is you guys have events, you guys have stuff, and we'll be the veteran. Because
Correct.
you're already full probably, all your lodging. I know Trigg is, you know, everybody I've talked to, their lodging is full. So we decided we'd be a veteran.
There'll be a lot of camping.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. At this point in time, they're saying, if you had a major reservation, only 10. So that's another thing we need to, you know, address as far as where we're going to put everybody.
Right,
And how we're going to do it, and get them here to point A to point B, but.
right. So that's why we decided to be a veteran community for you.
Okay, that's great.
Kind of the judge question, when this happens, you get this debate about the best place to be, there's a point of maximum duration, which means the longest period of time that there'll be a total eclipse, and that maximum duration is this period of about 2 minutes. Then there's a point of maximum coverage, and they're a little bit different. That's why Southern Illinois, what they're talking about, they're actually have been projected a point of maximum coverage. Somewhere in this area is going to be the point of maximum duration. But as with any eclipse, we had a lunar eclipse yesterday morning. You go out and watch them. It's a slow process as the sun, moon, and the earth begin to line up to create the eclipse process. So it'll take several hours, and these people will show up at these locations ahead of time set up, and they're gonna be there for 3 or 4 hours. So, as you said, having enough porta johns, restroom facilities, having enough parking facilities, potentially have food out there, you know, service these people while they're sitting out there watching this thing.
Because they're not gonna leave their spot once they're there.
They're not.
No, once they get
They're
there,
not.
they're gonna come with the lawn chairs and the coolers and whatever, and they're gonna set up and wait for this to happen, and then a lot of them will sit there till it's completely over and done.
Right.
And it's cloudy that
You got the
day.
traffic in, yes.
We had already talked to some folks that are familiar with this, but there's one thing, if it's cloudy that day, they'll look at the weather prediction and see what the closest place is that's gonna be clear along that track, and there'll be a lot of them will be out of here. And that's why the big advantage is, like you're saying, Debbie, to make it more of a multi-day event. Don't just focus on the Eclipse.
Correct.
But what you can do to keep them here, get them here earlier, or keep them here a day or two later, you know, and frankly, while they're here, what you can do to get some money out of their pockets and stimulate the local economy.
Correct.
During that Eclipse period, they're gonna be sitting there looking up at the sky.
Yeah.
Has there been any contact with the transportation department? I guess Wade would know to some extent, but about if there's gonna be any projects going on with the roadways and the bridges?
No, we haven't contacted either Kentucky State Police, or I think he had a short conversation with Kent just bringing this to his attention. There's gonna have to be a drastic, huge meeting of all of that prior to the fact. I mean, like sooner than later. Because as far as construction, no, I don't have any idea from a year and a half from now, so. But now, whether they will, that's something that needs to be asked.
For Lyon County, most of it should be done. You know how much they paved on 69 and all that. 62 will be finished here after April, so. I don't know of any projects that's gonna be taking place at that time, as of right now.
Yeah. I was just saying, congestion, like especially when you get to bridges, if there's any bridge work that might be projected for that.
And they usually
time.
do that about that time of year. But,
And they do.
I mean, that's something that we would definitely, look into.
Yeah, something else that I think with all these people coming in too, is there's gonna be a lot of people who need to stay overnight. They bring their systems with them, the media and everything. There's gonna be a lot of broadband usage. And the companies that are involved with that, like, the different cellular towers, the different things like that, but they essentially allot so much broadband usage to these lines, and those really have to be opened up.
Correct.
I think it'd be very disappointing for somebody from Japan that comes to Lyon County and then they can't contact someone while it's going on with someone.
That definitely has to be looked into and addressed.
And I guess it's moved closer, that's how far it moved. So it's basically between Hopkinsville and Eddyville is where it is. I actually thought it was a lot closer the last time I went.
A lot closer?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll look at it sometimes and it's 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and then I look at it again, it's 2 minutes and 37 seconds. I mean, yeah, and I wasn't aware that it was changing.
Yeah, it changes.
That's
But it's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just gonna be standing there, just hanging out in their spot. So, and that's why we decided just be, you guys, let the communities, enjoy the servicing these people and stuff, and having events, and we'll be having events at our, at the nature station and the home place and the planetarium, obviously. So we'll be having those.
What I'm wondering is, what might not help us is if all these different groups are doing their own thing and know we're not coordinated. And sometimes we need to have some kind of a point person that sort of helps us all coordinate together with LDL and with all the other things going on HR. Who is that?
That person would have to either volunteer, or we would have to seek out somebody that has communication skills, knows a little bit about law enforcement, roads.
Have y'all talked to anybody that sort of has one person in charge of their
Well,
liaison stuff?
Trig is Bill Stevens.
And what does he do? What-
He's the tourism director.
Oh, okay, all right, so that's who's taking it on for the whole.
Yeah, but, you guys might, think about getting somebody that coordinates everything here, in Lyon, because it's a big event.
Yeah.
And you're, like I said, you're the center in a lot of stuff. We figure people are gonna be migrating up to the northern end of Lyon County Lakes, because that's the best viewing is where you guys are.
I think you'll have a whole lot of people coming in there pitching tents all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so-
Yeah, oh, exactly, anywhere they can, so that's why we thought, that's what we'll open up. We're gonna say we've got backcountry camping, we've got this camping, and we're also, Jeff proposed and got accepted that we open our reservation system soon. And so, normally it's 6 months in advance, but we're gonna do it because we know we want people to come here, and people aren't gonna come here unless they know they can get a place. And we also, everything we've heard is all the lodging, every place is sold out. And so that's why we decided to go ahead and open up the lodging, so we could say, okay, our camping reservations, so we can say, yes, you have a place to stay, so please come.
This says something about an Eclipse task force, and that there's 4 that they say that needs to be on
I
a
think it's
committee.
smart.
It's an astronomy expert, science educator, meteorologist, and an eclipse chaser. So if we had access to 4 of these people with this background.
Bring that up on the one hand.
Yeah, we might actually have a representative from the Western Kentucky. Yeah, they have a tourist conference.
Okay.
And of course, our staff at the planetarium is fairly knowledgeable about exactly how that's going to run. They'll be there.
And maybe probably get local 6 or something.
Yeah, but that task force won't really
That's
coordinate everything we need.
No, this is totally different. This is basically, they'll work in conjunction with whomever or whatever other community form.
So we can share that with Trig and you guys.
Right, that's what we're saying. Hey, we're willing, let's work together. Whatever we can do to work together. We want to promote you guys, and we want to provide services that we can for you. That's why we thought it will be a veteran community, and we can advertise that. We'll try to get everything, plugged in before that. We could even have a community, year before the eclipse party, with different places and stuff like that. There's a lot of things we could do. But we'd be willing to be on a task force for the area. Gladly.
What you really need is an Eclipse event community coordinator is what you need. You need that person.
That's what we,
Yeah.
He said, she said Bill Stevens was doing it in Tree County, looks like Debbie would be the logical person for us.
I would recommend.
looks like
somebody-
you've been.
Congratulations.
I'm just the messenger. I just know that this is what's gonna happen. I would be more than happy to work with, alongside anybody to see what happens, but I don't want to be the one calling all the shots. I think we need more people with more experience as far as the logistics, the traffic, the
Well,
parking.
those police, they can handle
That's your
that. All you
committee.
gotta do is turn that over.
Well, that does need to be a committee.
Yeah, it's a committee.
Yeah, that's a whole separate committee.
We really need to set up something like an instant command system. Because
Yeah, that's what
people
they
who are
know how to
familiar
do
with the
that.
instant command system, they get multiple tasks on that committee. It's not just fire and EMS and police, it's gonna
Correct.
be more than that.
Oh,
But
yes.
you need somebody who's very good at the instant command system and how that
Absolutely.
system works.
But Debbie's doing a wonderful job coordinating for the tourism
Well,
commission.
I'm just coordinating it. I just don't know if I am the right person to actually head it.
Well,
Like I said, I would love to be a part of it.
On the incident command, that would come through our emergency manager.
Correct.
Right.
Got all that in place.
Yeah, you just need somebody that's gonna be in charge and say where things,
Yeah, if you've already got instant command in place in the county, this would just be some additional members on that have to do with more community-oriented things.
Yeah.
events.
But as long, I mean, they're, you know, they're good at coordinating incidents. This is gonna be an incident. It should probably operate like an incident command.
Maybe at the next tourism meeting that y'all discuss and see how y'all think we should put it together and who
Okay.
should be on our little task force
Okay.
for the county.
And we'd be willing to be a liaison, you know, like, you know, when you have a meeting, and we'd be willing to come and stuff like that on the planning and stuff, not a member of the committee, but just,
Sure.
if you need us there and stuff, we'd be willing to come up.
Okay.
I think your executive director of the chamber would also play a strong role in that, because it's not just tourism, it's gonna affect all of the area businesses, and make sure that all the businesses are aware of what's happening and be prepared for the onslaught.
That sounds like a good job for you, Greg.
Oh,
I just told her that.
no, that's,
Well, we need a good, strong media force as well.
we
And that
need
is
a
right up
strong
your,
media force. Yes, ma'am.
What's HR doing? What are y'all?
Well, right now, what we've looked at is, I don't know if you know David Yen, but he has a farm that's right at the corner of Lyon County, like, Lyon County, Christian County. Yes, that's what I'm talking, thank you. And, so what we're doing is, using that farmland and setting up a vendor booth. Creation Museum is gonna be coming in and setting up a trailer for educational purpose. Probably somebody will be getting with you to, because on that Monday, what we would like to focus on is bringing schools and having different educational sessions for the children there. Starting like maybe Friday night, we haven't determined if we would start Friday evening or Saturday, but have at least a 3-day event all through the time. Red Cross bringing the shower trailers and the food trailers. We've got, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Robbie Zacharias. He is a world-renowned pastor, a preacher, apologetic preacher, and he'll be coming, we're contacting him. His schedule is free. He has said he will come. We're in the process of nailing that down. Probably offering some, Tori's working with us on concerts and that sort of thing, kind of like the Summer Slam that we do in the summertime. So that's sort of where we are in the planning process right now.
something else I forgot to add, out of SIU, Southern Illinois University, they're preparing for this, but they have applied for a $42,000 federal rural development grant to help with the planning and marketing. So I don't know if there's a grant out there for Lyon County or for us, but I found that very interesting. So I don't know anything about grants, so I guess we could ask.
There might be something to ask for, like,
It's pending for SIU, so.
Well, you know, the one that's good for applying and getting grants is Jamie.
Jamie Green. She's very good. I guess I could visit her, see what, if she can find something out. But that would help.
well, and in the grant, you can say, you're working with us too.
Correct. Yep. Like partners. Yeah, I'll get hold of Jamie and see. But I just thought that was a good point. If there is money out there to help us put this all together, that'd be nice.
Debbie, something else I think that would probably be, and it probably would come through your office or begin through your office, people contacting the area looking for lodging. I know when, and to date myself, I was also in Paducah, I was a Paducah native, in the area when they started the quilt convention. And the quilters that are coming in from around the world, which they're pretty well prepared for them now, but at the time, there was no lodging, and so individuals were contacted that were willing to take people into their home when all the hotels were booked. It would be nice maybe to start now with a registry of people who would be willing to let people stay in their homes, maybe at a minor fee, like a bed and breakfast or something, but, and then there might be
a lot of people I've talked to a lot of people that are just leaving and renting their house out.
But like a lot of people that are in the community, that's not known, I would let somebody stay in the mother-in-law suite or the, son at college's room or something that, maybe if you started getting a registry of people that would take so many people in their
And I lived in Shelbyville for a while too, and sort of, the walking horse things that go on there. And people did that, but they also would allow people to park RVs and campers in their driveways, in their yards. And just about everybody in town would utilize, and it was extra income, because they charged a fee for that.
Yeah.
And so, people made amends to, made accommodations to be able to let people do that in their yards. And people pitch tents in yards. Of course, they still do that. So.
Brett is right, we would have to have someone in charge of keeping track of who's offering accommodations and what is available when people contact tourism.
Yep.
And I would, if I were you, I would also make sure that I knew and accommodated
You know what?
media.
Other outside media.
Outside media, because that way you can showcase again your town. So if you can put that out in your stuff, that you have an area, designated for media.
Well, I think it's interesting, and again, if you look at this coverage map, and we do business as Lake Barkley Chamber of Commerce. It started out as Lyon County, and the majority of the members are in Lyon County. We have members in Lyon County, we have members in Caldwell County, in Trigg County, Marshall County, have a couple of different. But if you look at the map, the focus of the thing is the two lakes, and it's our chamber coverage area that it cuts off right in northern Tennessee, basically. The total Eclipse. So again, we are a focus area for it now. The clock's running, and I know people need to get back to work. So what I see is coming out of this meeting is that we know, at least the people in this room know, that this thing is for the people, number one. And speaking firsthand, Jan, correct?
Yeah.
You've seen it, and you know the number of people that it drew in 1978.
You're gonna have a lot of praises.
Well, a lot of praises. And, that we need to, in the short term, form committees and find really a person to spearhead a community event effort. And at this point, we're pointing the finger at Debi to coordinate that.
Well, yeah, I'll make some
Yeah,
contacts.
make some contacts, but, we need somebody that's gonna have some time to devote. And somebody mentioned the Chamber of Commerce. I'm a short timer, that's the problem. I'm a short timer. I got a month to go, basically. And I'll be around, but I'm not in a position to do what you're asking here, I'll tell you that.
You're probably going to want to take position. This is a huge job. This is not a little job.
It's huge.
This is Woodstock. It's not, but it's.
Well, this is not gloom and doom, but this is what St. Louis is saying. If this event is as big as some expect, think of the effects. Interstates and highways clogged with hurricane evacuation scale traffic jams for dozens, maybe hundreds of miles. Remote rural back roads lined with cars and people, hotels campgrounds booked months in advance, gas stations running out of fuel, restaurants running out of food. And they say it sounds like extreme scenarios, but it's clear that we need to start planning now.
That could definitely be what happens if we're not prepared for it. I'm thinking about already making sure my staff knows they need to leave early to get to work, because if we've got so many people here that, they can't navigate the roads to get back and forth to work, that could cause a problem for us. So.
And I would caution on the schools, because it's not a normal day. It's not a normal day. You'd be better off using that schoolyard for the people.
Because we have Wi-Fi in our campground.
No, I've been there. That's right. All you have to do is say, bye-bye. $5 a night.
Oh, no, at a zero.
Yeah, well, there you go. But, because it's just not going to be a normal day, and to try to push.
So do you think our school should be closed?
Oh, yeah, I would. I would put people there, you got, it's a showcase where we can shine for over 1 million people in the area. There's gonna be 1 million people in the area. If the 30,000 that camp here have a good time, think about it. You got 30,000 people that are gonna say, I had a good time. How was your community? So we want to give a really good, positive experience for these people. You know, what opportunity do we have to host a happening?
Like this,
This is it.
this is it. Biggest thing ever.
And with the internet,
That weekend, he's closed it.
and social media, and social media.
They have a bad time,
But it's after school.
people are gonna hear about it. Rarely if they have a good time, you hear about it.
It's gonna be worse than TripAdvisor.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's huge.
I was thinking a school working session looks to me like it wouldn't be a normal school day anyway, because you would want a lot of kids to observe this, since this will be for
Yeah, we'll make rethink that.
once in a lifetime experience for most people.
What time of the day, is it?
2 o'clock,
2 o'clock?
basically.
Okay.
It's the total, right?
Right.
That's the total of the time.
But it literally is, I can't remember, 4 hours, 2 in front, 2 in back. You know, and people will just be hanging. You know, they'll probably go there early
To get their spot.
to get their spot.
see, I can put 16 on that boat.
And there will be people, I bet the lake is gonna be full.
Oh, yeah.
The whole lake. You know, and that's the beauty, that if anybody's renting boats, that'd be time to get a few extra in for the week. Yeah,
Somebody bringing a real tour boat.
oh, yeah.
If we were to try to hire someone to be our, you know, to be a 1 year or 2 year job, you know, who's gonna wanna take that job?
There's a lot of people that would,
You think?
yeah. Some retired people, stuff like that, that done it before.
I think we have a retired state trooper at this Anderson. I've been trying to get him really, you know, he's very, very good. If you would want to take it on, that'd be fabulous.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find somebody. I think if you pay the person to do it at a reasonable salary on contract, so you don't have to pay any, you know, taxes or anything, you could get somebody in here to do you a good job. I think a volunteer, it's too much work for a volunteer. This is too big, in my opinion.
It's huge. I mean, it's
Big.
Council does your tourism,
once a month, the second Tuesday of every month.
second Tuesday of every month, so you've got a meeting coming up here shortly.
The 8th.
And it's gonna be on your agenda,
Oh,
correct?
it's always on the agenda.
Always on the agenda, so you have ongoing conversation. Okay, and again, you know, certainly you can bring it back to this venue, and we can keep trying to get more and more people here. You know, I think with the number of people we have here today, we can get the word out, because again, we're working on it, and you know, it's gonna be a huge undertaking. All right, so much for the Eclipse. Greta?
Yes, sir. We are in the process of publishing the Lake Berkeley Chamber of Commerce membership directory and information guide, which we need advertisers that have not already committed to go ahead and contact me. By tomorrow would be really great, at the latest, maybe by Monday or Tuesday, that have not committed to the quarter, half, or full page advertisements. Again, this is going to be the 2016 Lake Berkeley Chamber of Commerce guide. We are printing 5,000 of these. This will be primarily given to the chamber to distribute as needed, and as I understand it, the chamber takes these to different chambers around the region. We already have been contacted by places such as Whitehaven, the Christian County Welcome Center, where I take other brochures and things that we can take to market the area. They all already have asked for cases of these. Places that are wanting to know, I know also as a realtor experience, I always like to give these out to anyone who's inquiring. I get a lot of inquiries about, do we have a chamber? Is it an active chamber? Who's in the chamber? These are ideal to have as a tool to give to people who are inquiring about the area. This is a golden opportunity to have these available. By that date, the 2017 chamber guide should be out. This is the 2016 that will be handed out. I think we'll begin distribution at the chamber annual dinner at the end of April. These get distributed as long as they last. But again, 5,000 is not an enormous number, but we do keep these on hand, and then we have those available at the newspaper and at the chamber anytime we have people that come in throughout the year wanting information about the chamber. Members are listed, have a line listing, but of course, as we all know, people read pictures. So if you have an ad, you're going to get that extra jolt of attention to your service or your business.
And I keep one of these on my desk, and if you turn from, again, our coverage area from, there's 4 counties in there, I believe. But most of the governmental information for 4 surrounding, our county and 4 surrounding counties, 3 surrounding counties is in there. And people call me all the time asking, I send them away most of the time. For things, questions I can't answer. Call the county judge, he knows. But there's lots of information, I thought you did, right? There's lots of information in there about water connection, sewer, and who's the trash people and all that for surrounding counties. And I keep one of those on my desk all the time. And again, paid members, as of April 1st, there's a listing in there for you. And as Greta said, people read pictures. So, that ad is worth 10,000 words sometimes when somebody picks these up. And again, they're to be ready by the annual dinner. And speaking of that, Tim and Nikki Farmer, April 29th, our annual dinner coming up. And we expect a larger than average crowd for this one. And these people are kind of like you. You know them and you like them, or nobody knows who they are. But Tim Farmer was host of Kentucky Field for about 20 years. And he retired in December, and he and his wife Nikki started a cooking show. It's Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. It airs on KET, it airs on RFD TV. He's got another thing about introducing musicians, and again, that's the 2 media outlets, and I don't know, maybe something else, but I guess the Kentucky Field being 3 shows he's been involved with, and they're all nominated for some kind of awards. But we expect this to be a well-attended meeting. Tickets are $30 per person in advance, $35 over, or like Miss Jerry, should you buy a table of 8, it's $200, so it's a $5 discount. She's already reserved at least 1 table of 8, and we have others coming in. Another thing different this year, if your business or organization wants to decorate a table for the contest, there's no entry fee. If you win, you get your traveling trophies and a little recognition. That's about it. All right, so Tim and Nikki, April the 29th. Anybody have anything to add?
Well, we're also looking for donations for our silent auction.
Correct.
For the dinner.
Correct. Yeah. You can call the chamber office with those, 388-4769. A lot of people just want to get cash, and that's okay. What we do is take, if you donate, let's say a $50 cash donation, we take and convert that to Lake Barkley Chamber gift certificates. And last year, those gift certificates were going at about 50% discount. We may have $100 worth laying on the table. Somebody bids $50 and they get $100 worth of purchases is what they get. And you can spend those with any Lake Barkley Chamber participating merchants. So that goes over real well. Got your walking orders there, Ms. Dodd? All right, thank you very much. Anybody else? Mr. President?
Good job.
Amen.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, it's time to